Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a scary story for you guys. I had a friend in middle school and she told me she will always go to Mexico, she will always go to Mexico to spend Christmas over there. So this time around, the same thing every Christmas she will go, and she always like talk to me about, oh, it's so fun, my dad lets us do whatever we want over there, and how he um, likes to like be more open with them, like I guess he gives them more freedom. So anywho, we were like in 8th grade when this happened. So we were me and her at the same age, right? And so I do want to say that at this time in her life, she was very like big on makeup, big on flirting, and yes, she was young, but she how do I say it? She wanted to grow up too fast, I was more on like the I can care less, but she was pretty out there, And anyway, she went to Mexico that winter with her family to celebrate Christmas over there, right? And so she comes back, winter breaks over. She comes back and she tells me the most crazy story, right? And this is the story. So they were over there, and they would always go to like the same area, the same house. The mom of the dad, so her dad's mom, is the house that they will always go to. So she told me how, they went to this area. I guess they were having like some type of celebration. Like, I mean, I never been to Mexico, you guys, I don't know. But she told me that it's like an outdoor celebration and people are like dancing and selling food, and I'm guessing it was part of the holidays because, the time frame. So anyways, so she comes back and she tells me like, oh my God, so when we were in Mexico, we went to this, party, me and my cousins. Her dad was not there and her mom was not there. So it was just her and her cousins who were like around her age or only a little older, right? So they're there, and anyways, eventually they start like playing music, and she explains how people over there around our age are not as closed down. For example, they'll ask girls to dance. I know they do that here too, right? But she was trying to tell me how they're just more likely to be more out there and so on. So anywho, she's there, and then she goes, yeah, so this guy comes up to me, and that guy's like around her age, well, kid, boy, teenager, right? This teenager comes up to her like, hey, you want to dance? She says no. And then this older guy who was clearly an adult, comes up to her and says, hey, how come you don't want to dance with my little cousin? And she goes, oh, no, it's because I don't know how to dance too well, right? And then in Spanish, he tells her like, I mean, I know how to speak Spanish. I don't know if you can tell, but I do. And then he goes, ¿Qué se me hace que tú no quieres bailar? Which means, I think you just don't want to dance with him, right? But she goes, no, es que ahorita no, sorry. And then she just walks away, right? So she walks away, and then one of her cousins, who's a female, kind of leans into her ear and tells her like, hey, like, you should have just danced with him. And then my friend goes like, tells her like, why? Like, I don't want to dance. He's like, I know, but like, it's like disrespectful over here. Like, they might take it the wrong way. And Oh my God. Let me tighten this up a little bit. So there we go. So my friend pays no mind, you know, she continues, you know, she's like, whatever, like I told you, she's very like, she's just out there, you know, she's not like scared to speak her mind, you know, and so she continues on, you know, eating food and just minding her business. And then at some point, so it was my friend, it was the cousin, the girl cousin, which was the one that she was mostly sticking around to, you know. And then there was like the boy cousin who was like 17-year-old guy. And, you know, I guess after some time, they decide, hey, well, we should just go home already. So her and the other cousin, they're looking for, you know, the guy, you know, the boy cousin. And they can't find him. And they're like, well, let's just go home. Like, you know, oh, well, you know, let's just go home. Like, maybe he's dancing with someone and blah, 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 blah. So they start walking home. Now, this is like, it's not a lonely place, you know. It's like a ranch style area. But it also has like an area where they have like a lot of vendors and, you know, small markets and people selling food on the street. And so, yeah, so they're like, I guess, in that area, and then they start to walk back home. And as they're walking home, you know, back to the area where they came from, a car pulls up next to them, you guys. And the funny thing is, or should I say the scary thing, they never pull down the window. No one ever gets off the car. It's tinted windows, the truck, but nobody ever, like, nothing. Like, there was just, the lights are on, they're getting followed. But this went on for like a minute, according to my friend, and then the truck just drives off. Okay, so the truck drives off. My friend just starts to giggle and laugh. I don't know why she's laughing, like out freaking out, you know, but she starts to giggle and laugh. And then her cousin goes, you don't know who that was? And then it's like, what do you mean? It's like, that's probably the guy you blew off. It's like, that's not good. That's not good. We gotta get out of here. They're gonna come back. They're gonna come back. And so, you know, my friend is still like, nah, like, you know, calm down. Like, it's not them. Probably just someone trying to scare us. Or someone that thought that they recognized us, but then they realized it was not us, and they left. So my friend was not taking anything serious. Her cousin, mind you, this girl's from the area. She lives there. So obviously, I believe the cousin. I don't know about you, but I believe the cousin, because it's like, if she knows the area, if she knows, you know, her town, and she's telling you, hey, we need to get going because, you know, we're in danger. But anywho, they start to, like, you know, walk faster, like they're speed walking this time. The cousin keeps looking all around. My friend is like, oh my God, you're being paranoid, like, you know, calm down. And I guess her cousin was just like trying to encourage her to hurry up, but my friend was being, you know, like a pain in the butt, clearly. So that happens. And, you know, in the distance, the cousin that they couldn't find, you know, comes out, you know, running behind him. And then he goes, échense a correr, which means start running. You know, so then I guess at that point it clicked with my friend, like, yeah, you gotta run, girl, right? So then she starts running. And then he is like, no. Like, basically because they were running on the side of the road. And he goes, no. Acá, which means this way. So then they start run in like field farm area. So basically, so they can be, you know, not seen. You know, he was taking them away from, like, you know, where they could be seen more easily, right? So he's like, no, let's go this way, right? So that they can't see us. They didn't know what he was talking about. They didn't know if it was related to what had just happened. But, you know, he's telling them to run. You know, they're going to run. So they're running. And as they're there, you know, they hear, you know, like what sounded like a car approaching. And so the guy cousin tells them, like, hey, duck down, duck down. So now they're hiding behind these bushes. And this truck, which was the same truck, you guys, that I told you that was, you know, passing by them, you know, going by really slow, but nobody ever came out of the truck or said anything or any of that. It was the same truck. And so they were, like, you know, hiding, you know, and then the truck is passing by, and it kind of slows down a little bit, but then it sped off right after that. You know, clearly it came back to look for them. And so once the truck, you know, moves out of the area, you know, drives a little way, they start to run again. They're running. You know, they make it back home safe, you know, to the ranch, you know, where my friend's dad and grandma is, right, with the rest of the family. Now, once they get there, you know, my friend tells, you know, her cousins, like, hey, guys, like, don't tell anything to my dad because he's not going to let me go out again. And so they're like, no, like, you have to tell him, like, no, please. Anyways, long story short, she convinces her cousins not to say anything to her dad, right, to her parents. And so now that they're, like, there, my friend asked them, like, hey, well, who was that? Like, why did you tell me to run? Like, and he's like, no, like, every time you see a nice truck around here and it has tinted windows, like, that's always trouble. And basically he was explaining, nobody goes around this area driving around with a nice truck unless you're into something bad, you know. And he was saying that they were up to no good. And then, like, the cousin is like, oh, well, the girl cousin, you know, well, how do you see us? Or was like, no, I saw you guys walking. I saw when you guys left, but, you know, I was talking to some girl, so I kept talking to her, and then I was trying to catch up to you guys. And then I guess he saw when the first time this truck was, like, slowing down next to them. And but he kind of held back a little, right? And then once the truck left, you know, he, you know, was running towards them. I was like, hey, and that's when he guided them to, like, hey, like, run, like, we gotta get out of here. And obviously the truck came back a second time. I mean, that's already a bigger red flag for me. But you know what the craziest thing is? The craziest thing to me personally is the fact that, like, when she was telling me the story, right? She was never like genuinely scared or concerned. I remember I asked her, I was like, oh, so are you gonna go back next year? And then she's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go back. You know, like, without a care in the world. Like I was just shocked at the fact that she was, like, so, like, not scared, you know, like, it didn't bother her so much. Like me, as I'm telling you the story right now, I'm like, damn, that would have been enough for me. I don't want to go back for a little while. But I guess just being young and, you know, I don't know. But she was not scared, and it wasn't that big of a deal for her, apparently. I don't know if because nothing ever really happened except for, like, the car following them. I mean, I don't know. I'm with the cousins, you know. I think my friend should have been, you know, I feel like she didn't really want to believe what they were saying to her, you know. I don't know. She needs to listen better, that's for sure. especially when you're the one visiting, you know. It's like if you're the one visiting and someone's telling you like, hey, run, you know, like you're in danger, and you're still questioning, you know, the fact if you're in danger. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you are, you know. But anyways, that's the story. Thanks for watching, and night night. See you next time.